Yeah, I mean, she's really good tennis player. Goes for her shots, takes the ball early, rips. Being a lefty is always tricky, competes really well. I mean, obviously she's beaten a lot of top players this week. I don't really think she needs me to tell her that she's a great player, that we're not going to see enough of her, but we definitely are. And she proved that tonight. I mean, that was...
This week at Indian Wells has been amazing. Even though Alex Eala's tournament is over, the discussion around her is still in its early stages. Because you can tell that the world is paying attention when someone like Jessica Pegula takes the initiative to stand up for you, vouch for you, and brag about how unique you are. And that's precisely what transpired following Alex Eala's defeat at Indian Wells in the round of 16. Jessica Pegula did not refrain. She had a lot to say, and all of it was true. This narrative deserves to be told correctly, so let's begin from the beginning. Alex Eala did not enter Indian Wells quietly. She entered with a bang. She showed everyone in attendance that she belonged at this level by coming in with a purpose. Her victories over elite opponents, such as Coco, throughout the week made a message. They served as evidence that this young Filipino woman is more than just a heartwarming tale. In women's tennis, she is a true force. Additionally, people start talking when you start beating the name she was beating. The throngs begin to expand. The excitement begins to develop. And this week, Indian Wells experienced every last bit of that energy. However, competitions are difficult. Additionally, Ayala did not win the round of 16. She didn't win. Many others were watching to see how she would respond at that precise moment. When everyone is watching, how does a young player handle losing? When thousands of Filipino admirers have come to California specifically to support her. When the cameras are constantly rolling and the strain is genuine, character is revealed at that point. And everyone was stunned when Alex Eala unveiled hers. She didn't leave the court quickly. Her fans weren't left wondering when she vanished into the tunnel. She remained. She gave a wave to all of her supporters who had traveled so far to join her.
The whole crowd was against me, and I was like, what on earth is going on? Like, where do these people come from? And then week after week, as she, has done well and established herself as a really good player on tour, they all come out to support her. And so I think we saw that in Australia when it was kind of overcrowded. They put her on too small of a court.
She gave them a direct glance. She conveyed her appreciation. Even some of the biggest stars in the sport, on their finest days, are unable to match the grace and poise with which she held herself. People will remember the picture of Alex Eala waving to her fans following a difficult defeat for a very long time because it is who she is. Even before the trophies begin to pile up, she is already that kind of champion. Jessica Pegula witnessed it all. Every time Ayala enters a court, she witnesses it. And Pegula went off after that defeat. She didn't hold back a word when speaking the truth. Pegula made it very evident that Alex Eala is not defined by a single round of 16 defeat. This young woman's accomplishments and future goals in this sport are not negated by a single outcome on a single afternoon. According to Pegula, nobody who is currently interested in women's tennis can dispute Alex Eala's potential in the WTA. She is correct, too. You just can't deny it. Pegula talked on Ayala's enthusiasm for the tour. She described how Ayala added something unique to the scene from the first moment. A newness, a vitality, a sincere passion for the game and the people that show up to cheer her on. Pegula stated that she has enjoyed seeing Ayala improve as a player and that this is only the beginning. Just the start. Take a moment to consider that. The amazing atmosphere, thrilling matches, and throngs of spectators we witnessed at Indian Wells this week are only the beginning of what Alex Eala will bring to our sport. Pegula went one step farther. She expressed her desire to have Ayala appear on her program so they could discuss the attention and enthusiasm she is currently bringing to the WTA. Thus, it is not a minor issue. It matters for the entire sport when a player attracts the kind of enthusiastic crowd that Alex Eala does. For women's tennis, it matters. It expands a game. It attracts new admirers. It increases the fervor of current admirers. Pegula is aware of this, and it's obvious that she values Ayala greatly, not just as a player, but also as a person and a symbol for her people.
Amazing. I mean, I played her when she kind of broke out last year in Miami, and I'm from there, and the whole crowd was against me, and I was like, what on earth is going on? Like, where do these people come?
Speaking about personality, Pegula made a special effort to commend Alex Eala for managing the notoriety and attention she has been receiving. And let's face it, managing that is not simple. That weight may be tremendous when you become a national hero, when the entire nation supports you, and when millions of people watch every game and every move you make. However, according to Pegula, Ayala's handling of that responsibilities is truly remarkable. She's doing it gracefully. She is acting modestly. She shows her appreciation for her followers in a way that is sincere, obvious, and authentic. She also exhibits poise in the face of failure, which reveals a lot about her character. Contrast that with what we occasionally witness from other players. We've all witnessed what occurs when some well-known athletes lose games they were supposed to win. We witnessed it during Coco Gauff's amazing comeback against Aryna Sabalenka in the French Open final. Rather than conceding that Coco was the superior player on that particular day, Sabalenka went into the press conference and basically claimed that Coco's victory was due to Sabalenka's bad performance rather than her own. Taking credit for your opponent's success while denying their genius reveals all you need to know about their personality. Because of this, everyone in and around the sport finds Alex Eala's behavior to be so striking, invigorating, and highly appreciated.
She won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy balls. If Iga would win me...
Players like Jessica Pegula will bat for Alex Eala for precisely this reason. For this reason, Pegula is aggressively supporting and defending her in addition to complimenting her game. It also extends beyond this week. Recall how Ayala attracted enormous crowds to the Australian Open earlier this year, but the WTA denied her access to larger courts during the opening rounds? At that time, Pegula also came out against it. She publicly backed Ayala, saying that she should be on the larger platforms so that her supporters could join her and she could feel the energy propelling her forward. When Pegula realized how unfair that was, she made a true ally statement. That person truly believes in what Alex Eala stands for.
It was Eala is the match that I was looking at, and there was people like wrapped around the stadium just trying to get in, which is pretty crazy. And I mean, it's cool to see and it's exciting, but obviously, you know, for fan experience, I don't know because I'm not living that same experience. But hopefully, the event kind of continues to grow with.
Additionally, Pegula wasn't by herself at the time. Legendary tennis player Novak Djokovic also contributed to the discussion by saying that Alex Eala is deserving of all the recognition and attention in the world. Ayala is the most well-known tennis player to have ever emerged from the Philippines, and Djokovic agreed that both she and the Filipino people should be treated with the dignity that comes with that distinction. You can tell that what you are doing is genuinely exceptional when opponents like Coco Gauff show you love after match, when someone like Djokovic stands up for you, or when someone like Jessica Pegula goes off in your defense.
Ayala, you know, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. You know, there's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. You know, she's been the biggest ever, you know, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest. So things like that happen. I mean, it's you could argue that it was, you know, maybe a poor schedule, and maybe they could schedule them on a bigger court. Yes, but again, she's so young and she's just coming through. So,
although Alex Eala's time at Indian Wells is ended, her narrative is far from over. The Miami Open is coming up, and it has a very significant position in Ayala's path because it was the competition that initially brought her to the international scene. People first began to sit up and pay attention there, began to see that this young Filipino woman was more than just good. She was something completely different. She has something to prove when she returns to Miami. She will return with a renewed sense of purpose and determination, prepared to remind everyone of her true identity. Additionally, her fans, those amazing, ardent, and loyal supporters who traveled to California to support her throughout every game, will return. This fan base will follow her to Miami, because that's what they do. They appear. They never cease to appear. And Alex Eala is always grateful to them for that. It was best expressed by Jessica Pegula. Alex Eala is not defined by a single defeat. Her style of play, her demeanor, her affection for her supporters, and the way she is transforming women's tennis simply by participating are what make her unique. Alex Eala's participation in the WTA makes it better, and the best is still to come. What are your thoughts on Jessica Pegula's ardent support of Alex Eala following her defeat at Indian Wells? Do you share Pegula's belief that a young player with obvious world-class potential should never be defined by a single setback? Do you believe Alex Eala has already established herself as one of the WTA's greatest names? Or would you prefer to see more before classifying her as such? What are your thoughts on Ayala's handling of the defeat, her decision to stay behind for the supporters, and her ability to remain composed despite disappointment? If you believe Pegula is entirely correct regarding Ayala's future, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know if Alex Eala will be able to recover in Miami and make an even greater impact during the tour. As the dust settles on an unforgettable week at Indian Wells, one thing is becoming impossible to ignore. Even in defeat, Alex Eala managed to leave a mark that many players spend years trying to create, and the reaction from fellow professionals like Jessica Pegula shows just how deeply her presence is already being felt across the WTA Tour. Pegula's praise was not casual or polite. It was the kind of honest recognition that only comes from a competitor who has shared the court and understands exactly how difficult it is to perform at that level. When she described Ayala as a really good tennis player who takes the ball early, attacks her shots, competes fearlessly, and brings the unique challenge of being a left-handed opponent, she was speaking from direct experience, acknowledging that the young Filipina is already capable of troubling some of the best players in the world. But what made Pegula's comments resonate even more strongly was the message behind them. One loss does not define a player, especially one who has already shown the kind of potential Ayala displayed throughout the tournament. Indian Wells was not simply another stop on the calendar for Ayala. It was a stage where she proved that she belongs among elite competition, defeating top players, energizing crowds, and bringing a wave of excitement that spread far beyond the court itself. Fans traveled from across California and beyond to support her, turning matches into emotional experiences filled with passion, pride, and an atmosphere rarely seen for a rising star so early in her career. And when the tournament finally brought a result that did not go her way in the round of 16, the moment that followed may have said more about her character than any victory could. Instead of disappearing quickly after the final point, Ayala stayed, acknowledging the fans who had come to stand behind her, waving to them, showing gratitude, and demonstrating a level of grace that many seasoned champions struggle to maintain under the weight of disappointment. That image of a young player recognizing her supporters even in a painful moment captured exactly why so many people inside the sport are beginning to rally behind her. Pegula recognized it immediately, emphasizing that Ayala's journey should be viewed through the long lens of potential rather than the narrow lens of a single match result. She pointed out the energy Ayala brings to the tour, the excitement she generates in stadiums, and the growing influence she carries as a representative of the Philippines and a source of inspiration for fans who see themselves reflected in her rise. That influence is not limited to spectators. Even other players acknowledge the effect she has on the atmosphere of tournaments. Pegula herself recalled the moment she first experienced the intensity of Ayala's fan support, describing the surprise of hearing crowds overwhelmingly behind the young star and realizing that something unique was beginning to build around her presence. Add to that the support of other figures in tennis, including legends who have openly praised Ayala's work ethic, attitude, and discipline, and a clear pattern begins to emerge. The tennis world is not simply noticing her, it is starting to believe in her future. What makes this moment particularly compelling is that Ayala's rise is not just about results on the scoreboard, but about the way she connects with people, carries herself with humility, and embraces the responsibility that comes with representing a nation passionate about her journey. That combination of talent, composure, and authenticity is rare, especially for someone still so early in her professional career. Now the focus shifts to the next chapter. The Miami Open, a tournament that already holds special meaning in Ayala's story because it was one of the stages where her breakthrough first captured global attention. Returning there after the experience of Indian Wells, with more confidence, more supporters, and more belief from fellow players, could create another powerful moment in her development. Whether she goes deep into the draw or faces new challenges along the way, the trajectory of her career is clearly moving forward, fueled by the same qualities that earned Pegula's respect: fearless tennis, competitive spirit, and a connection with fans that continues to grow stronger with every appearance. And that leads to the question many fans are now asking. Was Indian Wells simply an impressive tournament run for a talented young player, or was it another sign that Alex Eala is steadily becoming one of the most compelling new figures in women's tennis? Share your thoughts and join the discussion, because the next chapter of her journey, starting in Miami, may reveal even more about just how far this rising star can go.